November 14th, 1995. It was a cold, stormy night in Beijing. Heavy rain poured down relentlessly. Icy winds swept through the empty streets, and the darkness felt as if it was swallowing everything in its path. At a deserted bus stop in Haidian district stood a young man named Fuji. His destination, Fragrant Hill. The last bus of the route, bus 375, was due to arrive at any moment. On that stormy night, he stood there, alone, until an old man slowly walked up and stood beside him. Neither of them spoke. They simply waited, as the rain grew heavier and the wind colder. Then, suddenly, a faint light appeared in the distance. Bus 375. The bus came to a halt. Strangely, it was almost empty. But then again, who would travel on a night like this? Fuji and the old man boarded the bus and sat separately. The bus slowly began to leave the city behind. Streetlights faded one by one, until all that remained was darkness and the sound of rain. After some time, the roads became flooded due to the heavy rain. The driver had no choice but to take a different route, a route that was completely deserted. Dense forest surrounded both sides, and ahead nothing but darkness. Gradually, the rain began to slow. Passengers opened the windows, letting in the cold air. A strange calm filled the bus. Fuji's eyes grew heavy. The old man fell asleep as well. Even the driver began to feel drowsy. To keep him awake, the conductor started telling a story. Long time ago, in China, there was a man named Zhang Kui. He was a genius, the smartest man around, but his face, people said it looked like a demon. No one liked him, no one stayed near him, but he believed one thing, that knowledge would earn him respect. So he studied day and night, until he passed the imperial exam. The emperor himself called him to the palace, but the moment the emperor saw his face, he rejected him, just like that. All his life, he was judged for something he couldn't change. And that night, he couldn't take it anymore. So he killed himself. But death wasn't the end. When his soul reached the underworld, the king of hell saw him, not as a monster, but as something powerful. Instead of punishing him, he gave him a title, the King of Ghosts. Since then, they say he walks in the dark, hunting spirits, controlling the dead. Funny thing is, the man everyone feared became the one that even ghosts fear. So if someone ever asks for lift in any abandoned road, just hope it's not him. And then, suddenly, the driver slammed the brakes. The bus jolted violently. Up ahead, in the dim headlights, stood three shadowy figures. The one in the middle appeared to be injured, in the middle of nowhere. At this hour, what were they doing there? The driver hesitated, but the conductor said, "If we keep running an empty bus, we won't even cover the fuel cost." Reluctantly, the door was opened. The three figures boarded the bus. They sat down quietly. Their clothes were old, dirty, as if they belonged to another era. The man in the middle looked disturbing, a face covered in tangled hair and beard, eyes bulging unnaturally. They sat completely still. No movement, no sound, just an unnatural silence. The rain had stopped. Cold air flowed into the bus once again. Fuji slowly drifted back into sleep, until suddenly, the old man shouted loudly, "This boy stole my wallet." Fuji was stunned. "I didn't do anything," he protested again and again. But the old man wouldn't stop. The argument escalated. Finally, irritated, the conductor stopped the bus. "I'll take him to the police," the old man insisted. Both of them were forced off the bus. The doors shut, and the bus disappeared into the darkness. Standing alone in the forest, Fuji shouted, "Why did you do that?" The old man slowly turned toward him, a strange smile forming on his face. "I just saved your life." Fuji froze. The old man leaned closer and whispered. When the windows were opened, their clothes shifted. I looked down. None of them had any legs. Fuji felt his blood run cold. Only one question remained in his mind. Then, what were they? The next morning, Bus 375 was found, far away from its designated route. Inside, everyone was dead. The driver, the conductor, every passenger. No one survived. Even today, there is no explanation. Only a story, a terrifying night, and one final question. If that bus stopped in front of you, would you get on?